was my pleasure to be speaking with some of Columbus's residents, who have had a long family history living in Columbus, and I asked them what they thought the importance of the Columbus Community Center was and is in their lives.
It was the center of business for East Whitby Township. Those meetings, those council meetings, which were of great interest to the community at large because we were a small community. And any business that went on there was of interest to everybody. If you wanted to do something, if you wanted to get a permit for anything or whatever it happened to be, you went over to see the clerk of the township. I mean, if we wanted a culvert fixed, people talked about it at the council meeting. If somebody wanted to put up a barn or something, this was lots of conversation about it occurred in that building. The town clerk knew all about it, and anybody that came in heard about it. So it was a kind of a news center too. As I recall, whenever we walked in there, we were never in there for 2 minutes and out again. And I'm saying we, because I went in with my father and we were talking in those days. We were in there for half an hour and we were talking to this person. And we got the news of the community, or I say the relevant news of the community from the clerk because he knew everything that was going on.
The Four Corners of Columbus was a vibrant business community. Mr. Nesbitt, was it important to have the town hall within close proximity of the local businesses?
The blacksmith shop, which is right beside the church, just on the other side of the church, was also a center for the farmers. They all came in, their hardware to be repaired and their horses to be shod, and they all sat down and talked and discussed, and if there was anything that required information to the town hall, they only had to walk a couple of 100 feet and they could get it.
Mr. Beath, I understand that 1973 was a year of political change and council was reduced to one member. Can you share some of your stories about your time in the building?
In 1973, the province decided that they were going to change the method of government. As a matter of fact, I was appointed by the province in 1973 to be the first chairman of Durham Region. And I can remember the first year we were there, and I've got the names of the people on that council. And we had a vault, concrete vault. We had a bee one day, and we tore this down. You know, you don't hire anybody. We bloody well took it down. And we came across thousands of welfare slips because the city of Oshawa had marched on East Whitby during the Depression. And I mean, there was bushels of those that we took out.
Mr. Goodman, I understand that some of the men who received welfare for work slips from the town hall, as mentioned by Mr. B, perhaps had a connection to your father, who ran the local flour mill during the Depression years. What's the story behind these welfare slips?
There was a bunch of men come up from Oshawa, and they said that they had all these men that were out of work and that they were going to put them to work on the creek. So I said, well, what are they going to do? He said, well, they haven't got a job, they haven't any money, and I guess they get so much welfare, and we're going to give them a job on the creek. And I said, well, what are they going to do? He said, well, we're going to straighten the creek. And the creek went, you know, it was just winding, twisty. And I guess it was going into the road.
Columbus is also home to a military hero who has had connections with the early years of the Ontario Regiment. Captain George Prentice fought and was wounded during the Finnegan raids in 1865. He and other Columbus volunteers trained at the drill shed, which was located at the town hall. Mr. Platt, your great-grandfather was Captain George Prentice. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
He's a captain of the 34th Battalion, Voluntary Militia, number 8th Company. He was a resident of Columbus, and he was a village blacksmith at one time. He passed away from effects of the war. Now, what it was, I don't know. I never did find out.
I understand you discovered a copy of George's death notice, which was once posted on the drill shed located at the town hall. How did you come across the death notice?
Okay, well, I started looking in the family history in the 50s. And I had an old relative of mine and of my mother and father's who had George's death notice. And that started me looking up the family history in Columbus. The death notice was, I would say, 3 foot by about 2 foot.
On many occasions throughout history, a portion of the town hall was used as a temporary schoolhouse. Mrs. Sloot, you were a teacher at the town hall. Can you tell us some memories about the school?
I had my kindergarten class there in 67, 68. There wasn't any room in any of the East Whitby schools, and so they used the town hall for the kindergarten class. I used the big room. It was they just gave me the room and go ahead, and I think I had 22 children. They did give me a little bit of money to buy a few things, and we had toys and things at home that I took along. So, I mean, they gave me paper and pencils and crayons and this kind of thing, but there wasn't a lot of equipment, not like you think of kindergarten classes today. So it was there the 1 year, and then they found room in Raglan.
The town hall, or community center as we know it today, has always been a treasure to the Columbus community and beyond. It has served the community well, and Council has initiated the designation process to recognize it as a significant historical building.